circus musical full of amazing artists from all over the world. We have prima ballerinas, we have the most special artists from Russia that have trained all their lives to do these wonderful feats that you see on the stage before you.
Whatever I do on stage, what I'm trying to do is dancing in the air.
There's not many shows with as many special effects that we have and as much talent on the stage.
You get full circus and ballet and full dance, and you've got the whole, everything wrapped up in one.
It's crossing loads of different areas, boundaries, everything really.
We created Eclipse because we felt that we needed to have a show in England that was so totally different and unique, and something that would bring new people to the theatre and to live entertainment. We wanted to bring something totally new to Blackpool and also to take around the rest of the world, because this is a show that is just full of extreme sport, beauty, artistry and totally amazing special effects.
When Amanda Thompson created the show, we worked very closely together in creating dance and circus acts. It's not a circus, it's a production of everyone, and everybody's involved. So when everybody arrived, whether they were trained as gymnasts, we taught them how to do the silks, and we taught them to trampoline. So it was a big involvement from both sides, between the cast members and ourselves to create Eclipse.
Round, and then we get into the straight line. Everyone's doing it.
It was all pretty much established in her mind what she wanted to see. I think she'd seen things from around the world that she wanted to bring in, and I think she successfully did that, and she needed the balance of different acts, and then it was a case of making them work in this venue.
There's not much chance nowadays for artists to be given the chance to do a show like this, where they're not just doing their act, they're involved in the whole production. So it's a very company thing. So from the beginning of the show to the end, they're involved throughout each other's, supporting each other. So there's very much more a performance from all of them joining together to make the show work. We're asking them 1 minute to dance, the next minute they've learned to do hoops and silk, so they're a very multi-talented cast, and what we've tried to do is use their multi-talented skills in a whole production. So there's not many times you see gymnastic girls and ballet girls together, so it's new and it's innovative,
I travel the world to find the best artists, not only in Eclipse, but for all the shows that I ever produce. It's very important to have the best artists and the artists that can work with you, because I ask very difficult things of the artists. I don't only ask them to perform their act in the show or an act that we create, which is actually what happens in Eclipse. I ask for them to dance and to do gymnastics and to do all sorts of different elements that they've never done before.
We went to Vegas to see Vladimir, and his billboards were all over Vegas. He was in a show at the Stardust, and so when man saw him, because it was quite a unique act, I mean, not many people have done this act. He started off in, I think, in Cirque du Soleil actually, this particular sort of strap act. So when Mans met him, she told him, "Oh yes, it's the Vegas of the north of England. We're going to do this brand new show, and it's all right." And so he was, because he's very enthusiastic. So he got very much in on the, yes, I want to do it, and he's very Russian and powerful. So the first year he was very involved in getting the whole show together with us.
I told Amanda, if I want to work with the company, I want to put my roots in. I want to put my heart in. And so I didn't see myself in Cirque du Soleil. And I accepted the contract, so that's how we met.
We auditioned all the ballet dancers around the country, had massive auditions, like 400 girls turned up for it. And then we saw the jugglers in Germany, so we brought them over. The Russian girls who were the gymnasts, we saw them on videotape, and we thought, oh, they'd be great for this. So, it was very much going around seeing what was around.
A lot of them got gold medal. Julius just got world champion gold medal. Russian bar has 3 or 4 gold medals. Trampoline has gold medal. Then we used to have balancing guy. He got gold medal. I mean, Amanda worked with the best.
I've won the World Championships and that, and just came back from German Championships and I'm German champion.
I think the standard's extremely high and everybody in the show is extremely talented at what they do. Everybody's got a different skill, but whatever they do, they're extremely talented at it. They can teach you something as well, and maybe, hopefully, or maybe they learn something from us too, the dancers, but learned quite a lot working with them. Some of them are more sportsmen as well, you know, they've come from a sports background and they have a different mentality, I think.
A lot of people in Russia seem to be going into this from gymnastics. They seem to be doing a lot of aerial work, and they're sort of filtering around the world now.
This is the only place in England that are putting on shows like this. I mean, it's an honour to be asked to come up and do a show with them, whether you're doing the ice show or Eclipse here. I mean, you don't often get this support from everyone. I mean, from the crew to everyone here at the Pleasure Beach. It's phenomenal, and the standard is really, really high.
Eclipse is a very technically demanding show. We have very, very competent stage crews working with us on this show. It's very important that they're so highly skilled because we have a lot of aerial acts and we have a lot of difficult elements to work with, such as fire. So we have a very, very specialised crew who've trained for many years in the world of theatre to work with us on this show.
Well, technically it's a lot of rigging, there's a lot of flying, trapeze acts, silk acts, from all around the world, so it's been a bit of a learning curve from our standards as to understanding the concept that they've got already established abroad, which we've had to bring here and try and adapt this venue to suit.
The very first time we did Eclipse, it was choreographing all the wires and everything. I mean, that took longer than actually setting the show, of getting the props on, getting the props off and all these special effects. That had to be so choreographed right down to the last second, because you are bringing wires down, you're bringing weights down, you know, so hopefully the audience don't see any of that at all, you know, and it's all for the illusion, but that was the hard work.
It is one of a kind stuff we're dealing with the fire, with the rain, with the, you know, all the effects, the lasers and stuff. And it is very specialised stuff. It's not something that you can just get people in to do. They've got to have a prior experience of that in order to push the boundary like we are doing.
You see, I get applause, but actually it's 50-50. They can make me look very bad on stage, and they can make me look very easy and beautiful. I mean, the audience doesn't see them, but that's how it works. My muscle, their muscles.
It's technically an absolute nightmare, but from an audience's point of view, it's brilliant.
You don't tie it, really, and you open your hand, but technically it cannot slip away.
You can't be scared of heights, and you have to trust him as well. You have to trust your partner and trust him completely, because there's no safety harnesses when I go up with him. So,
as far as I'm holding the straps, I'm in control. It is hard. I mean, I hate to say that, okay? But what I'm trying to do on stage is to show how easy it is, like to pretend that I'm really flying.
All the costumes in Eclipse are handmade by our own wardrobe department. Everything is designed and created in-house. We have a wonderful team of people that sew by hand. Every little inch of the costume is created here.
The first year we did use tracks just to see where we were going to go with it within the future. After the first year, Amanda got a guy called Joe O'Connor, who's a really fabulous arranger and musician, and he did all the tracks. We were talking to Amanda at the feel that she wanted for those particular acts, so that's where it was all composed from.
The music for Eclipse has been specially written. It's very beautiful, very lyrical music, and there is something for everyone to enjoy listening to at home, so you can buy the CD and listen to it at home.
Gives life to all whose dreams must fly. Summertime.
And we worked very closely in what we were, as I was choreographing, can we have next to, you know, I mean, with the sound system here, we've got special effects on top of the tapes, and, you know, so it's a brilliant soundtrack, actually.
The wonderful thing about Eclipse is there's no spoken word. It is all sung. So Eclipse can be taken anywhere in the world, and people from all over the world can understand everything that goes on in the show. The There is a story to Eclipse, but people can see whatever they wish to see in it. That's the beauty of the show, because if people really want to follow the story closely, they can. But if they want to use their imagination and let their dreams run away with them, that's also possible.
Some people ask me, what is this all about? I cannot explain. You see, everybody has different imagination. We have 4 seasons, and it reflects on the costumes and music.
Because we've got so many effects and so many acts that blow your mind away, you know, up in the air, down on the ground, fire, juggling. If you went too heavy in the story, everyone would get confused because you are looking at the act performing. So it's very much a piece, like a ballet, really.
That's the wonder of live entertainment, because every time you come to see this show, you see something different from each different seat that you may sit in.
It should be seen worldwide because it's got so many elements. I mean, there's not many shows with as many special effects that we have.
We have rain that falls from the sky, we have fire that comes from the earth, and we have wind. Everything in the show is something that people can feel.
No one would be brave enough in England to put a show like this on, apart from Amanda and her team. I mean, it is fabulous, but yeah, it's a one-off, you know.
Everybody's emotions are touched when they come to see Eclipse, because the music and of course the dance and the elements that are in the show are all part of its magic.